Nothing like some hot chocolate on a cold, snowy day. Oh yeah. Why I'd rather have my solar panels on the ground versus on top of the house. See my squeegee? I'm about to squeegee my solar panels off, which are buried here. And you can see the corner sticking out down there. If they were on the house, I would have to wait for the sun to come out to thaw them out, but I can go ahead and get them cleaned up now, so. What's going on, everybody? Hope everybody is having a great productive day. Today's video is Let's Talk Solar. My reason for making this video is over the past years, I built 3 solar generators and I made a lot of costly mistakes. So I'm making this video hoping that y'all can avoid the costly mistakes that I made when I first got into solar. And to give you a little background, I got interested into solar about 7.5, 8 years ago. But I didn't go out and buy a portable solar generator, didn't hire a third-party company to come build one. I did the research for myself. I researched for about 6 months before I bought my first part. And I'm saying that to say this, I knew nothing about solar at all. I researched it for myself, learned it for myself. And so if I can do this, you can do this. So this video is going to be talking about the pros and cons of a portable solar generator versus building your own, the costly mistakes that I made building the 3 systems that I did, talking about that. So hoping that if y'all getting into solar, y'all can avoid those costly mistakes. So let's get started. Portable solar generators, pros and cons. This is my personal opinion. I'd ask everybody who's watching this video, do your own research and see what's going to work best for you and your family. With that being said, I personally would not invest in a portable solar generator. Reason being, I base solar on battery bank. Is your battery bank big enough to power you and your family needs when the sun goes down until the sun comes back up? That's how I base solar. With the portable solar generators, the battery banks on them are small and most of them come with 100-watt solar panels. They're great for going camping, emergency bug out situation, charging your cell phone, your tablets, computers, maybe some small lights and a refrigerator. But how long will it power a large refrigerator before that battery depletes? And most people can charge their cell phone, tablets, and all that in a vehicle. So with the price of what you're paying for those portable solar generators, to me, I'd rather take that money and invest it in building my own system, which will power a lot more. And also when it comes to those portable solar generators, all the electronics are inside that one unit. So if something was to go bad, then you're pretty much at a loss. Versus if you build your own system, most of the parts are separate. You replace that one part and then you'll be good to go. All right, so I want y'all to take a look at this screen and see this portable solar generator that I pulled up. This is the manufacturer specs on a Jackery portable solar generator showing how long it'll run certain items. So you see it showing the lights, the computer, TV, etc. So what it's not telling you is, say if you're trying to run your lights, that refrigerator, and watch TV all at the same time, then those hours are going to drop tremendously when trying to run that stuff. So that's what they don't tell you. So you look at those specs there, that's if you just running that and that alone. But most of the time when the power goes out, you're trying to run your refrigerator. If you got a deep freezer, you're trying to run your deep freezer. Maybe have a little bit of lights, try to charge your cell phone. And those battery banks and those portable generators are not that big. So it's not going to power that stuff that long. So that's something to think about when you thinking about going with the portable solar generator versus building your own system. So these are tips for those who are off grid with solar and for those who are thinking about getting solar. I watch a lot of videos of people who talk about the off-grid system and solar, but the two things I never hear them talking about is the two tips I got for you today, my 2 cents. So, replacement parts. I never hear nobody talk about replacement parts. So if SHTF happen or the grid goes down, you're not gonna be going on Amazon ordering replacement parts if your fuse go, if your breaker mess up, you know, all that, need new battery terminals. So have backup parts, extra heat shrink, extra shunts, battery cables, extra fuses, circuit breakers, mega fuses, bus bars, extra breakers, extra ground wire, battery cable. You gotta have backup parts in case something goes wrong. And my second tip for those who off-grid or thinking about getting solar, learn how to work on your stuff yourself. I see all these people who pay companies to come and install their solar. Something simple go wrong in a grid down situation, they're not coming out to fix that. They got to think about their families. So here it is, you paid all that money, got all these panels and everything, and you don't even know how to do the first thing on it. So I recommend, if you plan on going off-grid and using solar, learn how to build your own system, learn how to work on your system, have replacement parts, and have the tools that you need to fix the stuff. But one thing I forgot to mention, have some backup solar panels. Something may happen and you may lose a couple panels. Have some backup panels. So I actually got 6 backup panels over there. I actually got a backup inverter, and I have a backup charge controller, just in case. So this right here is the first system that I ever built. I have 2 100-watt solar panels by Renogy. I bought a little Cobra inverter that's designed to go in a 18-wheeler truck. Then I had this cheap little Chinese-made charge controller. I think it was like $30. Then I had my 150 amp circuit breakers on there. And then I think I had at that time I had 2 Marine Deep Cycle batteries. Those Marine Deep Cycle batteries are garbage. This is the first system I built, which wasn't enough power. And you'll see as the video goes on, I ended up buying more of the batteries, thinking I needed more to get the power, not knowing that I was just getting the wrong batteries. So the first costly mistake I say is don't buy no inverter that's designed to go in a truck when you're trying to do your solar. And don't buy Marine Deep Cycle batteries. And third being, don't buy 100-watt solar panels. They're only good like those portable solar generators for charging small things. You'll see as the video goes on, every system that I built progressed and got better as I learned more through my solar journey. All right, so all my solar stuff is complete. Everything is set up. I'm good to go now. Finally got everything hooked up like I wanted to. Solar is the way to go. Alright y'all, so I'm about to rewire my whole solar generator. I'm going to add 2 sockets, some breakers, and a breaker box. Alright everybody, so this is my old solar setup, because in a couple weeks I got some parts coming. I'm going to get a new case for everything and change it up. But instead of having 4 solar panels outside, I now have 6, which is a total of 600 watts. And for the last couple of days, I've been charging all my power tools out here, my work radio, and I have both of my deep freezers. Right now, I'm pulling in 210 watts. It says float because my batteries are 100% charged. They've been floating since probably 10:30, which means I'm powering all this stuff off of the sun. As you can see, batteries are 100%. Right now I'm using 95 watts, 94.9 watts, but I have 210 watts coming in. That's my breaker box with my breaker switches in there. All right, so on this system right here, I have my Flex Max Outback 80 amp charge controller, which is a pretty good charge controller. Then I have an Ames 12 volt inverter. That right there was a costly mistake. Don't buy a 12 volt inverter when you getting into solar, and don't build a 12 volt battery bank. Do 24 volts or 48 volts, because 12 volts will not produce enough power to pretty much run stuff. So stay away from 12 volt inverters and 12 volt battery banks. All right, y'all, so I got some new parts for my solar generator. Now let's get ready to rewire everything. Eventually I gotta build a new box. But you see how I have this meter right here that shows that it's 100%. And this one shows how much power is being used. Then I have to look over here to see how much power is coming in, which right now it's only 20 watts because it's getting late. But the batteries are floating, which is good because I need them to be floating to sync my new monitor. But this right here is Bluetooth. I'll be able to know how much power is coming in, how much power is going out. I will actually know the percentage of my batteries, and it will actually tell me how long my batteries will last hour-wise and minute-wise with pulling however much power it's pulling. Okay, so about to get ready to hook all this stuff up. Got my new cables, got my new mini bus. So that's electrical talk. All right. This is my 6 100-watt solar panel array. Every one of these solar panels is 100 watts. All right, so it comes from the solar panels and it comes into my charge controller, which right now I have 310 watts coming in. This right here is my Victron energy monitor. It lets me know how much power is coming in versus going out, and how long my batteries are going to last as far as hours and days. And then it keeps the temperature batteries. These right here are my other monitors, backup monitors that I have. But it has my battery bank. It's down in here. That's my battery bank. This is everything that I hooked up, my different shunts, wires, bus bars. But that's my battery bank. So it goes from the solar panels to the charge controller, from the charge controller to the batteries, from the batteries to my inverter, from my inverter to my breaker box to my electrical outlets. And right now it is running my power equipment for my weed eater and stuff, my fan to keep everything cool, both of my deep freezers. All right, y'all, so that system y'all just seen was my 80 amp MPPT charge controller by Outback Flex Max, which is a pretty good controller. I like that one, it works good. I had my 12 volt Ames inverter, which to me, that was a bad investment, costly mistake, because what I was planning on doing, which was trying to run an entire house off of solar. So if you plan on running the off-grid system, go with either 24 volt or 48 volts, because 12 volts is not gonna produce enough wattage and power to power your needs if you're trying to go off-grid. I had 6 100-watt solar panels by Renogy, which those panels was a bad investment. Going with 100-watt solar panels, you need to go with a higher wattage solar panel. And plus, when I got those solar panels, I got them off of Amazon, and they were by Renogy, and I paid like, I think it was $100 to $110 for 100 watts, which was bad, you know, but I was still learning. And solar panels that I have now, I got from Signature Solar, and they're 440 watts a piece. And if I'm not mistaken, I think I paid like $150 per panel. So do the math on that one. I had the 6 Marine Deep Cycle batteries, which they may be good for like a small boat, but as far as doing a solar off-grid system, I personally would stay away from them. I had it in the 12 volt battery configuration, which going off grid, like I said, do either 24 volts or 48 volts. And I had it in a 12 volt battery bank. So that was a mistake that I made, but purchasing those 6 Marine Deep Cycle batteries was a costly mistake because they don't produce enough power. And with those Marine batteries, once they heat up, it puts the gas off. So you're gonna have to have ventilation. And those 6 100-watt solar panels and those Deep Cycle Marine batteries, the 6 that I had and the 12 volt inverter, it powered the stuff that I need while the sun was out. At that time, I think I had, I believe, a refrigerator and 2 deep freezers hooked to it. And then just like my battery operated weed eater and blower and all that stuff. And in the daytime, it worked good. But like, soon as the sun went down, about 2 hours after the sun went down, that was it. The batteries, they just could not hold enough power with those Marine Deep Cycle batteries. With lithium batteries, you can drop the percentage a lot lower and you get more of the power versus with those Marine Deep Cycle batteries. So those right there were all some costly mistakes, hoping that y'all can avoid it. So that was the 100-watt solar panels, the 12 volt battery bank, 12 volt inverter, and I think that's it. So now I'm gonna go ahead and show you the system that I have currently, which I have 8 battle-born batteries and I have Victron electronic parts. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you why this system is one of the top best with going with solar, my personal opinion. And I'm gonna explain why I went with this system and why I went with the batteries, why I went with Victron. All right, so I upgraded my entire solar generator, and these are some of my components. Everything else is coming on freight trucks, but you see it in pieces now. All right, y'all, so just got my 6 solar panels. These are 440 watts a piece, and look how massive they are compared to these 100-watt solar panels. These were the new small 100-watt panels. Oh my goodness. That was the size of the solar panels I had. That was the smaller ones. This is the ones that were the original size, that big. But look at the difference. Ooh-wee. All right, on this clip right here, I'm just getting everything mapped out. Got my breaker box wired up with my breakers. I wired up my outlets. And then I have little sticky notes as to where I'm gonna place all my parts as far as my inverter, charge controllers, and all that good stuff. So I'm getting it all mapped out because I'm renting, so I have to keep mine portable. I can't tap into their breaker. All right, so I finally got my last shipment so I can set up this solar generator. Was waiting on this pallet here, took a while to come. But that's my 8 lithium batteries, my inverter, charge controllers, distributor, battery monitors, my panels right here. Right here, I just got everything opened up, reading over the instructions, laid some of the parts out on a piece of cardboard just to make sure it's gonna fit right on the wood panel before I start getting everything drilled down and wired up. This entire system that I built, it took a lot of time and a lot of research, but now I have that knowledge. So if anything goes wrong with my system, I can fix it. Those portable solar generator, something go wrong with that, everything's internal. It ain't no good. All right, so I first want to say, before everybody go in the comment section, I rent, so I cannot take my wires and put them in conduit and bury them in the ground. I am in the process of looking for some land, and once I get my property, then I will put my wires in some conduit and put it in the ground. All right, so with that being said, now I will show you my setup. All right, so these are my solar panels. I have 2 solar arrays. I have a total of 6 solar panels, and each panel is 440 watts apiece. I got them from Signature Solar, made in the good old USA. But like I said, I have a total of 6, 440 watts apiece, for a total of 2,640 watts. I do plan on getting some more once I find some land, but until then, this is enough for what I got set up now. As you can see, yes, my wires are on the ground. I will be purchasing new wires once I get the land, and then I will put them in some conduit and bury them in the ground. Both of the solar arrays are grounded with the grounding rod into the ground, and then I have my copper grounding wire attached to the back of the solar panels. So how the solar works, the sun hits the solar panels and it goes from the solar panels to the charge controllers, which I'm gonna go show you now. All right, so like I said, it comes from the solar panels into my garage, into my setup. Excuse the mess and the wiring. Like I said, I'm renting, so it's only so much I can do. I can't go into their breaker, and I can't run my wires in the conduit and under the ground. So I did the best I can, but everything is grounded and good to go. So it comes from my solar panels, and it comes over here, and it goes into my charge controllers. And the way I set my whole entire system up, I have breakers and fuses between everything. That way, if something was to go wrong and a power surge happened, then it'll trip the breakers or it'll blow a fuse before it messes any of my electrical stuff up, any of my components or parts. So it's gonna come through the solar panel wires, and it's gonna come on my positive. I have a 150 amp breaker for both of my charge controllers. Then it's gonna go into my charge controllers, and it's gonna drop down into my distributor. Inside of there, I have fuses. That way, if something goes wrong, then the fuses will blow before it mess up anything. Then it goes from my distributor to my emergency shutoff switch. With this switch here, I can turn it off, and it'll cut the power to everything. So once it comes from my panels to the charge controller, from the charge controller to the distributor is going to my batteries, and from my batteries it's going to my inverter. Then once it comes from my inverter, then it comes around here to my breaker box that I wired up. So I have my breakers here, and then I have my outlets down here. And how I wired my outlets up was I did a total of 8 outlets. I have 2 regular outlets right here. Then I have 2 Wi-Fi outlets that I can control via the internet. Then right here I have 2 USB computer outlets. And then right here I have 2 GFI protected outlets. And like I said, I did it like this because I knew I couldn't tap into their breaker because I'm renting. Once I get a place and get set up on my own piece of land, then I'll be able to run straight to the breaker and use the outlets in the wall versus doing it this way. So some extra precautions and stuff I have on it too is I have a surge limiter right here. Then I have what's called smart shunts and monitors. So over here, I have my Victron battery monitor, which monitors my batteries. It'll let me know how many days I have left on my batteries, how many hours, and keeps up with all the percentages. Then right here I have my my bus, VE bus, which keeps the temperature of my batteries and keeps the volt reading. So I have Victron electronics and battle-born batteries. I have 8 battle-born batteries, and I have them configured in 24 volts. So my battery emergency shut-off, I can switch this off in case I have to work on the system. What I'll do is I'll switch this off, and I'll trip my breakers. That'll cut the The breakers right here will cut the power coming from the panels. And then once I do my emergency shut off, it cuts off the power to everything. Then I can turn my inverter off. But that is how I have my system wired up. And then in case of emergency situation and the sun is not out for some days, then I have my emergency backup plug that I have that I can plug into my generator and cut my generator on, which it'll charge my battery bank and it'll run the stuff that I have running on it now. And it's been a total of 97 days that I had this whole entire system set up. And within that first month of me having it set up, it cut my electric bill in half with everything that I have hooked up to it. So, yes, with doing solar, you pay up front, but in the long run, you save. And if the power goes out for 2 days and all my freezers of food are good, then it was worth the money. So right now, I have 2 deep freezers and 3 refrigerators plugged up into it. And then I have some other electrical stuff plugged up into it. So if I was able to put more on it, then I'd probably be able to save more if I was able to go straight into the breaker and use their outlets. But I don't want to run extension cords all over the place. But like I said, I have everything grounded. All my stuff is grounded, going out there to a grounding rod. So the panels out there, the solar panels are grounded. My inverter and my breaker box and my charge controllers are grounded. But the reason why I like this system so much is this right here is called Servo GX. And if you get the Victron set up, definitely spend the extra money and go ahead and get that. With that right there, I can monitor my whole entire system from anywhere in the world via internet. I can go on the app off my phone. It'll tell me how much power is coming in from my charge controllers. It'll tell me what my inverter is inverting, how long my battery is gonna last as far as date and hours. And that right there is a peace of mind. With my old setups, if something went wrong, I found out when I got home. With this right here, I'll find out right then because it will send you email alerts. And like I said, I can just check it whenever I feel like checking it. All right, so to do a recap on my Victron components and battle-born battery system, I have 2 Victron charge controllers. I have the Victron distributor, the Victron Servo GX, and Victron inverter, the Victron VE bus, and the Victron battery monitor. Then I have 8 battle-born batteries. I have everything configured in a 24-volt system, and so it's a 24-volt battery bank, and my inverter is 24 volts, and it's 5,000 watts. And with this snow and ice storm that we just had recently, we didn't get no sun for it was like 2 or 3 days with one day raining and snowing and sleeting and then just cloudy. But for 3 days, we really didn't have no sun. But I was able to run my refrigerators and freezers with no problem. We didn't lose electricity. But the good thing is, with me not getting no sun to charge up my batteries, it would have been able to run my 3 refrigerators, my 2 deep freezers, and all the electronic stuff that I have hooked up to it. That battery bank would have ran it for 5 days before I would have had to plug it into my generator for backup power, or would have waited till the sun came out to charge up my battery bank. So that's why I say when you get into solar, I say build your system versus getting the portable one. But it all depends on your needs. You may not need to charge or power a lot of stuff. So a portable solar generator may work for you. So it all boils down to what you need. How much power do you and your family need if the grid was to go down? If you need a little bit, by all means, if a portable solar generator works, then go for it. But if you need a lot of power, I say invest in building your own system, because why have 2 or 3 portable solar generators that you didn't spend a couple of $1,000s for, and you're still not producing as much power as you're going to need? You might as well take that money, invest it in building your own system where you will be able to run pretty much everything you need to run. So I hope this video was helpful, and for those who are thinking about getting into solar, I hope you got a better understanding what solar is. If you have any questions for me, you can drop them down in the comment section. And as always, have a great day.